Morning, I'm Lynn, and welcome to another day at Ewetopia Farms. We got sunshine today. Everything's still sopping wet because it just poured yesterday on a day that it wasn't supposed to rain at all. So the non-limping rams are out in the paddock here, grazing away. They're happy for the sunshine. One of the morning routines seems to be that Tom waits for me on the door, and he's the wild one. Still haven't been able to touch him, but he'll sit there now when I feed him, and he's always sitting on our little half door looking out and waiting for me to come to feed him breakfast. We're in the lamb barn where Monster is. Monster is in with the mom section, but I think he's crying now and coming to me because he wants to go in the creep pen. So we're gonna let him in. We slept in today, so we had to have been tired. And we got a nice little cluster of ewes and lambs here today, all mellowing out together. Okay, let's see if Monster wants to go out. Monster, come on. Come on, buddy. You guys are all comfy today. Knock down this. Okay, Monster, you want in? Come on. We're gonna bring you in. This way. Hi, you're here too. You guys want to go in? We're supposed to wean them today, but I think we're gonna take a break today. Day off. So, I assume we'll wean them tomorrow, but yeah, Monster's right in at the feed there. So like I said, this group is slated to be weaned. We're tired today and busy, so we thought we'd take a day off. I mean, an afternoon off, right? So probably tomorrow we'll wean these guys off, so they're with their moms one more day. And we gave them some fresh new hay, and they're happy about that, so they're good. And I think we're gonna get those dry ewes in their paddock today, the ewe lamb paddock, to see if they can chop down some of that really long grass for the ewe lambs. So we're closing off the laneway for the ewes so that they're funneled into this little paddock here. It's just a couple acres. They should pretty well decimate it, I'm thinking, in a day. And then we'll move them to another pasture. We just gotta unhook some gates here because we would have left it like this, but inevitably some of you would have pushed it shut. And so always prepare. These hog panels are extremely handy for sheep, for gates, for moving sheep, for all kinds of things, and they're nice and light and really long. I'm gonna hide in this pasture to film them coming through. We gotta watch for ticks. It's not that I can see them, but we definitely have to check ourselves for ticks when we get out of this really long grass, because in Ontario there's an epidemic with ticks this year and Lyme disease. So it's funny, I don't see it on the sheep at all. So I assume that the Ivermectin works, and that's why they don't have ticks. Here they come. See, I'm in the grass, and see how tall the grass is? And these are big sheep. tall that is. And they don't like to eat this. They like the little fine grass, but they'll start nibbling down below this tall grass to find the shorter grass, and that'll they'll take down some of the big stuff in the process. And we may just come in with a bush hog after they're done, if the lambs still don't graze it at that point, and just get it shortened down a bit for them. But that's to their back. This should keep them busy for a whole day. You might get 2 days grazing out of here. Depends how good a job they do. But a lot of the problem when, like if we were to let them into the big paddock here with the long grass, which we're not, we've decided to hay it instead. But what would happen is they'd run through the grass, and it's so long that they actually knock it over and flatten it and trample it. So you can't pick it up with a mower, and the sheep can't eat it. So it ends up wasting a lot of your hay and pasture. But Ben's gone in there and you can't even see him. The sheep over there have discovered him. But he's right in there somewhere. There he is. Oh, there. The good thing about it is they get to eat privately, because no one can see each other. Okay, so we'll see how the newly weaned lambs did. It looks like nobody's here, but for some reason all the boys are under the feeders. Couple out, but this whole pen is empty. All the ewe lambs are out, but every ram lamb is under the feeder, which is pretty funny. Stretch, gonna come out and have his creek feed. And also, all these are white ones. And then when we go to the front, under the feeder here, we got a couple of Suffolks in their group. They're hard to see because they're dark. But all the dark-headed ones are up front. They stay with their breeds, I tell you they do. So morning chores are done, and we decided to head to Ottawa, and that's where my parents live, and see how my dad is doing, because he's on his own now that my mom is in a home. So we're gonna do a surprise visit with him today. Our farm we're driving by. This is our bean field. This one's not fully planted, is it? Nope. Oh, this one is the one that got done, fully done. Down the road a bit, this is another hay field that we own. And coming up, we got another one.
These are actually farms that we own. These are not all our farms, they're actually separate farms that we walk by.
Yeah, but they are our farms. Okay, so this is our other hay field. This is our alfalfa field. And yeah, all the hay fields look like they're ready to cut down. So we made it to Ottawa, and my dad is not supposed to be gardening. And there he is gardening at 90 years old on his knees. And he's not supposed to be. Okay, so Arnie's planting beans today. This is a property that we rent across the road from us. And we've got 10 days left where we can get the beans in. And after that, it's too late. You can't plant anymore. Our season's just not long enough. So the ground is still a little too wet, but he's sticking to the higher ground in this field. And we're just gonna leave this front bit here, which is still waterlogged, and just try get in as much as we can before the deadline. We've had rain practically every day, and there's so much rain that you need quite a bit of sunny, dry, warm weather to make it possible to even get on the field. So everybody in this area is having a hard time, and the same goes for trying to get that hay off. But we're plugging it through today, and hopefully can get, if we're lucky, we might be able to get the rest of our beans in. Tomorrow they're calling for rain, but there is a chance it might bypass us, in which case we could very well get the rest of our beans in. So fingers crossed on that. But we're having a go at this little field. It's just a small field, but anything's better than nothing at this point of the game. So I don't know if you can see. This is what his planter makes a little furrow, and you can see the beans. They're those bright green things that get dropped in, and he'll come and roll them, and that pushes the beans like right into the ground like that, and then they'd be covered. In you go, little bean. There, and that's all it takes. But you can see the line it makes. It's hard to believe that would actually grow beans, but it does. We haven't had much heat yet either, but to me it's perfect temperatures. We got 20 degrees Celsius for the next 2 weeks, and I'm real happy with that. In the front of the field here, as I walk into the field, you can see my footprints. That's how mucky it is, and tractors can't go into ground like that. That's our farm across the road. We got a solar panel on it, which helps with the hydro bills. And if you plant the seeds in this mucky ground, chances are they won't grow anyway, because it's too damp for them to grow. This is what our farm looks like from the front of the road. That's the barn where the Dorsets are all breeding, up at the front there. And then where the solar panels are, that's where we have more breeding groups. And that's the house and the driveway up here. And our sign. That's what you'll see when you come to our farm. This afternoon I think I'm going to get some work done on my garden there, because it's been raining. It's been hard to get the weeding done on these guys too, so that's what I'll be doing this afternoon. Back from cultivating the next field. So, how does it look?
Tough.
Tough enough to do?
Tough enough it's gonna do. Some places I was spinning. So we're gonna put it in and hope for the best and move on. We got seed all tonight, so it's 30 acres. So it's a night job.
The dogs are always happy to see Ernie when he comes. The dogs are always happy to see you when you come back.
I wish I was a dog.
You're pretty close.
Huh?
Pretty close.
Would you drink without me?
That's right. I did my garden. Did you see it?
No.
This is our backyard. And from the backyard you can, well, we back on to the lamb paddock. And that's where we had let the ewes out to chop it down. And that was yesterday, we let them out here. And today, it's their second day. And remember how we couldn't see them before? Now look at that. All you need to mow down a field is a bunch of hungry ewes. We still have to clean up all those trees. You can see during that windstorm a bunch of trees back here fell over. We still have to get around to chopping those up. But you can see they've knocked down a lot of the grass, but they've also eaten a lot. And by the look of it, I'm guessing they could probably stay in here 1 or 2 more days because they haven't really come up into this area much yet. They seem to have been more on the back end. But this paddock's probably an acre or 2, and there would be probably 120 ewes in here. Maybe 140. Well, that's a good job. The lambs will like that a lot better, and now that it's down and you can see, I think the lambs will wander out into it a little bit more. I can't blame them for thinking that that's scary when it's tall, when you can't see what's on the other side or in the grass. Anyway, we have the blower going again today because it's the weekend, and hydro is cheaper on the weekend because blowing air on the bin costs a lot of money. So we always run it during off-peak hours, and usually just on the weekends because there's a lot of corn in there and you don't want it to heat up and go moldy, so we just do that to make sure it stays fresh. The sheep are put into their beds and the sun is going down, and we're gonna call it a day. So I hope you'll join us next time for the next episode at Ewetopia Farms. Bye for now.